Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my pedal collection. I have about, I think, 20 odd pedals that I use with both guitars and synths or keyboards. And I'm just gonna kind of talk about the pedals that I bought, why I bought them, how I ended up using them, and what I actually think about the quality of the sound that comes out of them and how useful they are in musical application. So this is in no particular order, but I would like to start with TC Electronic, and these guys have been around for a while, but I was never interested in their pedals, but got to try a few of their later models and decided that they're innovative enough. They sound really good, and the tone print really sold me on the quality of their pedals. The most basic pedal I have from TC Electronic is the Polytune, and this is obviously mainly used for guitars. Very easy to use. Once you you can strum your whole guitar, and it picks up every string and gives you the tuning of your entire instrument at the same time. You can also get into the tuning of each string. But what I really like about this is the screen. The screen is really nice and visible and bright, and it helps you get your tuning in done faster. The second TC Electronic pedal that I got was the Dark Matter Distortion. Now this pedal is really well priced, so it's maybe $50 to $70 depending on where you are. Very basic, so you got your gain control, you've got bass and treble and level, but you also have a voice switch here which lets you go between what they call vintage distortion and modern distortion. Not really a huge difference, maybe cuts a little bit of the high end off, but overall it's still a great sounding pedal. Now the reason I got this was when I use my guitar, when I have a nice big signal chain of pedals going into my amp, I discovered that if you don't have an amp with an effects loop, you're gonna need a distortion or overdrive pedal in the front of your chain. So this is where this comes in. Not overly saturated distortion, very kind of, I'm not gonna say transparent, but a decent amount of distortion without going into metal territory, but definitely good for hard rock. The next TC Electronic pedal is a modulation pedal that I got as a gift for my birthday. It's the Vortex Flanger, and it's really good. Now I was never into flangers, I never really liked using them a lot. I did use them a little bit when you're playing certain rock styles, but I was never really interested in buying one of these until I got it and I got to try it. Now, this is a stereo pedal, unlike the Dark Matter that I showed you. So it works very well for guitars as well as keyboards. And the nice thing about this is it has 3 modes, which you can see up here. Tone print, and we'll talk a little bit about tone print. Tone print is when you can download the app and through your guitars pick up, transfer data into the pedal, get certain sounds from famous artists. But what I really like on this is the tape mode, and it gives you that sort of 1950s, 60s, 70s tape sounding flanger, which to me it's less modulated. It's more of kind of like limitations of the technology back then. So it gives you that nice tape flanger, which you've heard on a lot of records. You got the controls for the speed, the depth, and the feedback. So fairly competent flanger pedal, and I think well priced as well. And really, the tape mode is what sold me on this. The next TC electronic pedal I personally went out and bought was the viscousvibe. Now this is truly an amazing pedal. If you're a fan of 1970s psychedelic rock, or maybe some of the revival in the 90s, this is definitely a good pedal to have. It's also a stereo pedal, so you can use it on your keyboards, you can use it on your guitars, and has a fair amount of control, so you can control whether you're using chorus or vibrato setting, as well as tone print, so you can download all these artist patches off the web. And you have speed, volume, and intensity. It's not overly complicated, very simple. It goes from really subtle kind of vibrato sound to very wobbly psychedelic sound, but definitely a good quality pedal. Stereo, so you can use it on both your keyboards and your guitars, which I definitely do. The final TC electronic pedal that I have went out and bought is the flashback. This isn't the big flashback. This is the I think medium. I think they have a smaller one, and again, it's stereo in, stereo out. Don't buy a delay pedal unless it's stereo, because it, you know, if it's going to end up in the end of your signal chain, you want to be able to drop in a modulation stereo output into this pedal and get really, you know, stereo sounding effects. Again, you have the basic FX level, which is the mix between your dry and wet signal. You have your delay and your the delay, which is the time, and the feedback, which is how many kind of repeats keep going on. It's got so many different modes of delay, and they all sound great. The tape one sounds amazing. The analog one, I really like the lo-fi and the dynamic one. Dynamic kind of picks up on the velocity of your playing, and the modulation one, so you can get those type of, let's say, analog delay man, you know, type of sounds. You have ping pong and you have slap. Slap is really cool when you want to thicken up your sound. It's got reverse. It's also got a looper built in. You just have, you know, put it in looper mode and tap in, tap out. Works very well. Also has tone print, so you connect it to your phone and the app downloads the sounds in there. Overall, amazing pedal. Something people don't realize straight away is these actually have tap tempo. It's not as apparent when you start using it. If you just hold this down and you start strumming a certain tempo on your guitar, it kind of picks up the intervals and gives you the tap tempo that you put in.